Today we're gonna have a first look at Cassia, the latest hero of Heroes of the Storm. Now she's currently only available on the PTR, however I believe sometime next week is when they're planning on releasing her to the game. Of course, we got the whole Heroes 2.0 situation going on. I may be talking about that in a future video, but in this one, I want to introduce to you what she is all about. So first off, we'll check her out in the store, and then secondly, I want to also go ahead and play my very first game with her, because I haven't actually tested her out in an actual game just yet. Just been walking around in the store for a little while. I've been testing her different abilities. So she's going to be the Diablo 2 Amazon, one of the hero classes in that game. And she's fascinating because first off, she throws a spear. Secondly, she got a shield. Thirdly, she can sort of like blind a lot of people constantly, very often. And then last but not least, one of her ultimates allows her to sort of like pull people towards her, sort of like Stitches' hook does, which is fascinating. Anyway, regardless, the first thing that we're going to talk about is her auto attack, so the fact that she can throw a spear, and secondly, what her passive is all about as well. So she can throw around a spear just like I'm showing right here, but what is making this hero super interesting is her passive ability. And basically it makes her like the stutter step queen in the entire game, okay? So if you have a quick look right here at her passive called Avoidance. While moving unmounted, Cassia gains 65 physical armor against heroic basic attacks, reducing the damage taken by heroic physical attacks by 65%. And that's substantial. That means that when you are going up against, like, for example, a Sergeant Hammer or a Vala or a Rainer or any of like those ranged assassins, I suppose, that deal physical damage, or, you know, any of the other assassins that deal physical damage, or any of the other heroes for that matter, you will be taking 65% less damage, which is substantial. Like, that's a super large amount. So basically, you're constantly wanting to move around like this to try and make sure that you optimize the amount of time you're walking around with, and I guess that you make your shield sparkle like that. I mean, you can see the little lightning on it, I suppose. Whenever that is active, you will be taking less physical damage from heroic attacks, which is going to be a very important deal and a very important thing to keep in mind. Secondly, we got Lightning Fury. Now, this is pretty interesting too. Basically, the way it works is a skill shot in a line just like that. And when it hits a target, it will also split up into 2 additional strikes, I suppose. Now, I've been trying it out for a little while. Like, the spread, I suppose, doesn't really seem to do a whole lot of damage. But regardless, it's still quite nice to do a little bit of additional damage. As the cooldown is only 4 seconds, which is not a whole lot. And it will basically allow you to do a bit more damage and therefore, you know, practice your skill shots, I suppose. Doesn't seem too influential, though. Secondly, we got Blinding Light. After half a second, blind enemies in the target area for 2 seconds rather. So this is sort of similar to the ability that Johanna has, except you've got a lot more range on it. So look at this, right? I can actually blind targets in that area quite aggressively, and I gotta be blinded for a little while too, which is very interesting. And you can see right there, the passive is as follows. Cassia deals 15% increased damage to blinded targets, which makes it a really good combination with, for example, Fend. Charge at an enemy, and upon arriving, channel for up to 1.5 seconds, dealing 116 damage to enemies. So basically what that means rather, is that I'm going to be able to push forward just like that, and sort of do like one of those Karazim moves, where you start pounding and, you know, hitting your opponent very rapidly. Now, of course, that will work together very nicely with Blinding Light as well, as I can indeed do a lot of increased damage just like that. And I currently have one of the quests activated where I indeed do have the True Sight. I think this is going to be my very first talent that I picked right here. Empowers your Blinding Light once again. But the combination of the two is going to be very fascinating. And one of the cool things you can do is, for example, use this as well to continue the kiting, because you don't actually have to sit out the entire duration right there with the punches. So it's a pretty cool ability. Her first ultimate, and the one that I'm going to be using in the game, is called Valkyrie, which I will most definitely be testing out a whole lot because it seems awesome. Basically, you can go ahead and have a skill shot in a line just like that. It will only hit heroes. However, the first hero hit will be pulled towards you, which is awesome because once again, you can do a lot of damage just like that and basically make sure that everyone will be taking a substantial amount of damage. Plus, if someone's trying to retreat, right, you can basically pull them right back towards you, which I think is really cool. And the second ulti is called Ball Lightning. It basically shows up this circle when you're trying to cast it, and whenever you put it on an enemy hero just like that, it will throw a ball back and forth. However, when you go out of the circle, it also stops hitting you. So it's really important you go ahead and stay close to your enemy when you're trying to nuke them down. I gotta be honest, it seems probably like the superior ability in like one-on-one kind of scenarios, but I really like the Valkyrie. And after a good long queue, we're finally here on Warhead Junction. Now, of course, by the way, this is indeed on the PTR, on the beta of like Heroes of the Storm 2.0, in case you missed all of the exciting announcements they made. There's basically a ton of changes that they have introduced. One of them is that I can go ahead and change up a lot of my colors and skin colors and whatnot right from the beginning of the hero. So this is indeed going to be my very first match with her. We'll try our very best to not become absolutely terrible. And I think for my very first one, I'm just gonna try and run a build that is as passive as we possibly can. So we can really focus on, like, you know, positioning and just straight up strategy, right? I don't really want to, like, make it any more difficult than it absolutely has to be. So here we go. Now, I did talk to a couple of friends of mine that have already played her for a while too, and they all mentioned that for a ranged assassin, she is surprisingly tanky. Now, I'm not sure if anyone really is going to go ahead and end up fighting there in the center part of the map. Apparently, people are getting a little aggressive. I'll just move over just in case. Very nice. Of course, right here, right? This is a good example right here. I really want to try and keep my basic attacks going all the time. But I think it's time for us to head to the top lane. Now, there is a 0-2 out in this match, so we do have to be a little careful about that. One of the things that we do have to keep in mind is that we don't really have a whole lot of movement speed, other than the fact that, of course, we got that beautiful additional physical damage reduction, right? So, of course, that will already help out against 0-2 as well. But you can see, you really do want to stay on the move. Like, you don't want to just stand still. Standing still is dumb. You don't ever want to stand still in this hero. I am a little careful about my positioning here. 0-2 currently in the center part of the map, so I think I'm good to go and push onwards. Try and do as much damage as possible. But right there, for example, right, you can see my spear didn't really seem to achieve a whole lot. The split off, at the very least, doesn't really seem to do all too much. Don't really want to go too far forward now, seeing that indeed, apparently there is some trouble here in the middle lane. I'll wait for the next attack wave here as well. I love the new UI and whatnot, though. They made a lot of changes in the game. Like I said, right, this is my first time playing here on the new PTR. Oh, actually, I could use that a lot more often. Regardless, they're creating some really impressive changes to this game. I'm actually really liking it. While there are some, you know, some less than perfect things, and some people have been complaining non-stop about their master skins and whatnot. On the whole, I'm really excited for it. I think it's gonna be sick.
Warheads available for collection.
Now, I guess I'll just, you know, stand in my top lane here.
Arming your nuke now.
And I guess I'll go ahead and just simply use it, right? Not a whole lot of reason not to. There we go. If nobody's gonna stop me, I guess I won't really hurt myself either. That actually is really good. Look at that area of effect damage. Really impressive. I'll go ahead and pick up the Ring of Light there, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and back up because I'm a little far forward now. But still, we have pushed in the top lane very effectively. And I guess we can go ahead and head down to middle now. Start aiding over here for a little while. Potentially start dealing some damage as well. Of course, if I could blind her, that would be great. There we go. She does a surprising amount of damage, though, in these kind of situations as well. Very nice. Okay. I don't really want to be alone by myself in the top lane if I'm going to be in this much trouble. It just take a little bit of damage there. But it's pretty cool because you can have a lot of different, like, approaches, I suppose, to, oh, wow. Okay. You can have a lot of different approaches here right now to the skin and the mount combinations and whatnot. Alright. You know what? I'm gonna drink from the fountain real quick. How's top lane looking? Maybe I should actually head down to the bottom one instead. You know what? I'll actually head down to the bottom one. I'll go, I guess. Oh, I don't really want to commit. I don't really want to commit. I wanted to commit there for a second, but I think I would have died there for sure as well. At the very least, we made Murky overextend. Anyway, I'll come down to the bottom lane next if we need to. I guess all things considered, though, this is looking quite nice. Next Warhead should be available here very shortly. We'll go ahead and pick up whatever, like, I think is going to be the easiest talent pick here. So, you know what? I think I'll go ahead and pick up the Impale. I don't really know about talent builds right now, right? Of course, that's going to take a little bit of time before we can figure that out. So far, though, this game seems to be quite nicely in our favor. Fend actually does a surprising amount of area of effect damage. There we go. And we can continue pushing onwards here. Really nice, actually. She seems surprisingly strong. I do want to walk with minions here just in case. If I can at all avoid it, I don't really want to take any additional, you know, burst damage from, for example, this man right here. But of course, we can blind them as well. Potentially start dealing some additional damage, just like that. Very good. And actually, I'm really quite impressed with this whole setup right now.
Prepare for warhead deployment.
There we go. I can, of course, do quite a bit of damage. Oh my god, look at that!
Enemy defeated.
That was sick! That worked so well! Man, that's so powerful! You know what? I'll pick up the warheads, I suppose. I was gonna back up, but considering we're already at such a nice level, and very shortly I will be able to pick up my healing again as well, this should be all good to go.
Arming your nuke now.
Alright. You know what?
You may launch when ready, Administrator.
I'm gonna use it right here.
Nuclear launch.
Pick up the other one as well. Now we're at it anyway. But I do want to heal up here before doing anything else.
Arming your nuke now.
She seems surprisingly tanky and surprisingly damage heavy. Sadly, apparently now, there isn't a whole lot I can do over there. Oh god. Come on, bro. That's pretty obvious that he was going to be there. I've been trying to play around him for a while, but sadly not quite. Alright. Well, hey, anyway, we'll pick up the Valkyrie right here next. Or Valkyrie. Valkyrie. Hold on. Ooh.
I shall purge this land of shadow. Yes.
No! Pick him! Oh no, how did you miss that? Oh, no way!
Enemy hero terminated.
Oh, how do I live?
Double kill.
How am I alive?
I'm returning to base now.
That was so close. That was so close. Alright, well, hey, that wasn't as perfect as I wanted to. I was hoping that the throw would be able to hit his thing. Get out of there, my man. Get out of there, my man. I gotta say, though, I love that ulti. That ulti is so badass. That ulti is right up my alley. Alright. You know what? I'll cast it right there. Calling down the thunder.
Detected.
Can I actually do it? Oh yeah, I can indeed use it just like that. That's pretty interesting. I can use it really aggressively too, like dash around corners too. Alright.
Kill confirmed.
Alright. Well, trying to get over there, but... do have to be careful though. Trying to silence people here. Whew. And once again, super low in HP, but somehow, some way, I haven't quite died very often here yet. And with very often, I mean not a single time. Crazy fights here, though.
Elimination complete.
Sadly, our ETC overextending pretty aggressively there. But eventually, we do pick up all of these. Mercury trying her best to once again get in there, too. I got my ulti now ready to go. Oh. Alright. Well, hey. Okay. Trying to grab it once again.
Enemy hero terminated.
Oof. Man, I take a lot of damage, though, in such a short amount of time.
Make haste.
When I'm not on the move, like, my damage reduction is not that impressive. When I am on the move, however, so, like, when I'm capturing a thing, like, of course, my shield is not up, right? Whenever I'm capturing a thing, I seem really tanky. Or, you know, you get what I mean. I don't think I need to explain that. There we go. You basically want to just stutter step as much as you possibly can. There we go. Stutter step micro is going to be king here.
All warheads
There we go.
have been claimed.
Should be able to get out of there. Very nice. Which one should I go ahead and pick up here next? Lightning Furious slows. That seems pretty helpful. We do finally have that warhead taken, by the way, right there on Thrall, which should be good to go too. And as far as actually siege damage goes, we've got more damage done than Asmodan has on our team, which generally speaking doesn't really happen all too often, right? Hero damage wise, it's actually pretty high up as well. Look at that. Definitely looking really solid. I'm liking this one a lot. All right, let's go ahead and grab this. I'm hoping that someone will go ahead and help me out. I'm not entirely sure. I guess we can figure out how good she's gonna be in, like, taking these kind of things by herself. Surprisingly good. There we go.
Keep up the fight.
I don't think you want to go that aggressive, my man. I think you want to probably back up for a little bit, just in case.
No harm shall come to this world.
Okay. So let's see. Am I supposed to like micro this one back and forth, you think? I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this, am I? I wanted to test her capabilities of potentially doing this, but it seems alright, but it's not as easy as it looks, because you need to be like rather safe here with your control as well. Okay, very nice. Eventually you do get some help. Interesting. She seems pretty tanky when you're like trying to... She seems pretty tanky when you're like trying to fight and move at the same time, but when you're standing still right there and you're not really moving a whole lot, she immediately starts taking a heck of a lot of damage. There we go.
I am the queen's spear.
Very good. Should probably take this one out.
We must eliminate their fort. Make
Okay.
haste.
Fort destruction complete.
Glory to the victorious.
Trying to do the same right now in the middle. They're still going to have some trouble here in the top anyway. And we're probably going to go ahead and pick up the tower here too, which is very nice. Actually, I'm not really using that combination right there very effectively.
Bring them
Oh!
to me.
Really? No way.
Those who prepare endure.
Come on!
Warheads inbound. Countdown kill
Got him.
confirmed.
Okay, you do have to be quite accurate though with that ulti. I'm sorry, Murky. I'm sorry, my little man.
Complete.
New warheads activating.
You have been bested.
We need some help here though.
Warhead deployment complete. Collection is
Make
advised.
haste.
Untouchable.
Oh god. I saw him there at the last second, but I already had activated and queued up my abilities. And I think I'm gonna end up falling here. Oh, he did overextend for it, so, you know, there is that. We still do a lot of damage, though. You can see, like, when he was chasing me down, right, and he was trying to just use his basic physical attack while my shield was up, he did very little damage. Like, that really wasn't all too impressive. I actually assumed we would get bottom lane quite easily, but sadly, we didn't quite get that one yet either. And actually, even though we were really far ahead as far as level goes initially, and we still are in a good position here, it's not quite as advantage anymore, or as advantageous, I suppose, anymore, as we were in the earlier stages of it. And while apparently Thrall ends up falling there as well, they do overextend just a second. Disabled heroes take additional damage. That increases, or that also... no, I was gonna say, does that also include... oh god. Does that also include silence? But I guess I'll just go ahead and pick up that thing. Get him!
For my might.
He's so tanky. Oh my god, that's insane. He dodged that brilliantly initially there, but sadly Kerrigan does end up falling there too. Okay, there we go.
Defeated.
I'll pick up the thing, I suppose.
You have been bested.
I'm always a little worried that I'm not using my my warheads effectively. You don't want to save them up too long either, right? I'm always a little worried of losing
You
them.
may launch when ready, Administrator.
Okay,
Warhead collection complete.
let's go ahead and try and see if we can pick up this thing real quick too. Actually, like, look, that's a waste right there. You see, like, I do need to be a little bit more accurate there with my skills, I suppose, and with the way I activate that. Because I could have killed the other one already.
Glory to the victorious.
An allied fort has fallen.
Okay. Oh, sadly, the miss combo there.
Your enemy has destroyed the fort. Kill confirmed.
Nice.
Keep it up.
You think I should go ahead and activate it like that? Like this, for example, I always feel like it's a bit of a waste, but
Nuclear launch detected.
I guess it's not too bad. If you get a fort from it,
Fort destroyed.
we get a little bit more time, I guess, as well. We're with the 4 of us. There's only 4 of them alive right now. Yeah. Oh god.
Enemy defeated.
Maybe the other ulti is actually more efficient. Like, the Valkyrie is so badass, but maybe the other one is more efficient. I'm gonna take some damage here.
Elimination complete.
Okay. I don't know if you should do the boss. We should probably not.
Death.
So right here, right? I have to like keep in mind the angle that I'm coming in at, because the arc, I suppose, that you shoot forward with is not that impressive. It's not that incredible. Okay. Cool. Sadly, Asmodan trying his very best to dunk down as much as he can. He enjoys walking by himself. Okay. They're actually slightly ahead right now as far as level goes. Sorry, I'm gonna have to hit this one. I'm sorry, sir.
Enemy hero terminated.
Got him.
Success.
That was actually pretty big if you would have been able to steal that. That would have been a little painful. I'll start walking around here with my teammates. No reason anymore to engage all by ourselves. You can't like steer, you know, the objective, I suppose.
Those who prepare.
We need to make sure that we stay together.
Vital signs negative.
Okay.
Update.
Well healed.
Warheads have been deployed.
I don't really want to grab it, I
End
guess.
Update.
Okay. Ooh, and even though this started up brilliantly, that in the end was a fight that was a 4v5. I guess that sort of like told the tale. Yeah, that really was not worth it. That really was not worth it. I actually did not pay very close attention right there to whether or not we had them ready right there. Did I push them all off of my mosh pit? I think I pushed only one of them, right?
Launched.
He did get taken out of that engagement and we could pick off the rest of them. In the end, it was mostly just a 4v5 right there, but I guess that wasn't the ideal use of my ulti either. Good point there. You gotta keep in mind, you're trying to use it most efficiently. It should only hit the very first target, however, but... Which one should we go ahead and pick up here? Titan's Revenge. Basic attacks, ignore armor. Probably a pretty good idea. It kind of depends though. Valkyrie roots the enemies. You know what? We've already committed to the Valkyrie a whole lot. Let's go ahead and continue onwards with that as well. But yeah, it is going to take a little bit of time, of course, to become better at playing some of these heroes.
Enemy moved.
Oh, man. No, don't walk into that.
You have lost a key.
And that sadly is a keep gone for us. Okay. There's gonna be a boss coming in now as well in the bottom lane. It's gonna be a little bit of practice that we'll need to do with her, but I gotta say, like, so far I'm actually really quite enjoying the way this hero works out. The additional, like, bit of bonus XP, I guess, or the bonus, like, damage reduction is very significant. I need to be a little bit more on top of, I think, the damage increase as well that you get from the blinding light. And damage selection is gonna be fascinating too, to see what's gonna be the standard. Because it seems like a lot of the different talents that are available are indeed viable options as well, you know? There we go. This one will be taken care of here, but...
Hostile forces.
I'm returning to base camp.
Alright, we'll return to the base camp real quick. We'll try and come back into this. But our core is now indeed showing up there as well at the top side of the screen. Can we group up, please?
Help our ally. We advance.
I could try and get my luck, I guess, in pulling one of them towards me, but...
Enemy defeated. Encouragement.
Like, the thing is, with your E ability, you jump straight into the combat, right? And it works quite well, but I think I shouldn't be using it that aggressively. I don't think I should be using it that aggressively, because it gets a little too much. Like, at some point, like, even if you try and, like, do that, like, Fend push, right? And you do a lot of damage, if you then try and back up, it's a little too much. I think I should probably use it a bit more defensively and go from right there, because I'm afraid that this is where we're going to be losing our very first match. I got some work to do, but I'm really enjoying it, and I hope that at the very least this gave you some additional information about Cassia that you did not already know, because I'm actually really enjoying the playstyle. I think like the ranged assassins in general seem awesome, but the fact that she's got the shield up as well make for a really interesting setup. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button down below. And if you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get a notification as soon as I upload more. And other than that, I want to thank you very much so for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile, alright? And I will see you in the next one.